This is my review of The Elder Scrolls Skyrim for a college project. Yes, the game has been out for a long time, but I chose it because it is one of my all-time favourites. You might want to watch this if you have never played it before and want to see what it is like. Or maybe you want to see how appropriate it is for a younger child of yours. Or maybe you're just bored.
Why are we stopping?
Why do you think? End of the line.
Let's go.
Shouldn't keep the gods waiting for us.
No, wait! We're not rebels!
Face your death with some courage, thief.
You've got to tell them! We worked with you! This is a mistake!
Step towards the block when we call your name. One at a time!
Wait. You there. Step forward. Who are you?
This is the character creation screen. It's broadly similar to the last game, but it's a bit more detailed and the characters look a bit more realistic. In the last game their faces looked a bit too round and sometimes their lips and noses were a bit puffy. They've done away with that, they look a lot more lifelike in this one. You can customize pretty much anything you can think of, even the width of their jaw, for example. You don't choose major and minor skills at the start of this game. It's a lot more flexible. You learn the skills as you go, so whatever skills you use, you will improve and that will level you up. So if you use your bow a lot, your archery skill will increase. Each race has its own abilities. For example, all the elves have abilities to do with magic. High Elf can use Highborn power to regenerate magicka quickly. And the Dark Elf can use Ancestor's Wrath to surround themselves in fire. Argonians are resistant to diseases and they can breathe underwater. Nords can use a battle cry ability to make the opponents flee. So that's the character creation screen. I'm going to talk a bit more about the game. Skyrim is one of the most immersive role-playing games there is. That's down to how much freedom you have. You can do whatever you want. You can do the main quest line, or you can run around getting used to the map, finding locations and doing side quests, or you could just wander about and not do any quests.
You killed the green blooms again.
All the characters apart from the main ones can be killed off, so you're not stopped by not being able to kill characters. And the creation, all the armor creation and all the rest of that, the improvement of your weapon and armors on the grindstone and the workbench, that also adds to the interactivity of it.
At least I used to be.
Some people say the combat still feels a bit wooden, but I would strongly disagree. In Oblivion you really do notice it and it is a bit wooden. Well, it's very wooden in Oblivion. In this it's nothing like that. It's a huge improvement. I don't think you could ever describe it as wooden. In some parts it is a little bit jittery when the cinematic view goes on to do the killing moves. Sometimes it is a little bit jittery. But apart from that I would say the combat's fine. This is the skills section. Again, very different to the previous game. In the previous game you chose how many skill points would go up after you leveled up. In this you just learn as you go. You have 100 skill points per skill, and once you've gone through enough skill points you will then progress on to the next level. You get a perk per level. The perks are useful You didn't get them in the last game. I think it's quite a good twist. An example of a perk is Power Shot. Arrows stagger all but the largest opponents half the time. The red bar at the bottom of the screen is my health. The green bar at the bottom right is my stamina or energy. The blue bar on the bottom left is my magicka. All your spells use up that. So that's the skills section. This is the menu. You've got your quests, general status and system. Your quests are laid out a lot easier than in the previous game. You've got your completed quests below this line and your current quests here. Your general status is anything from how many locks you've picked to what your favourite spell is. This is your items section. It's far simpler than in the previous game. The previous game had a bunch of sliders that were overly complicated. In this it's just clearly laid out. There's your weapons, potions, scrolls, books, keys, etc. and your favourites. You can favourite an item by pressing triangle. You can also zoom in. This is the map. There's a huge difference from last time. It's three-dimensional. You can twist around and zoom in and out. The previous game just had a two-dimensional map where you could only scroll left and right and up and down. And you've got your current location, your quest location, and your marker. This is the tanning rock where you make pelt and hide into leather and leather strips to make armour at the forge. You mine ore and then you use a smelter like this to make ingots. You can also make jewellery. That's just good for improving your skill. And then you've got loads of armours. Another improvement that could be noted is the horses. In Skyrim, they are far more lifelike. They feel like they are moving properly. You can also attack. This is Winterhold. It's where the College of Winterhold is. That's where you go to do all your magic skills. It's right on the edge of the map. If you've noticed, it's quite small. That's because it is. The rest of it fell into the sea for some reason. You get told that when you're doing the magic quests in the college, all your mage quests. I'm going to show you the alchemy lab and the arcane enchanter. Both of these show yet more interactivity. This is the Archmage's quarters. The Archmage is the highest ranking mage in the college. You get a garden area here with ingredients that replenish over time. You also get a stockpile of ingredients that also replenish over time. And there's some potions here, they replenish too. Here's the alchemy lab. You combine ingredients you don't know work together. So unknown effect. I discovered an effect there. You can also discover the effects of ingredients by eating them in your inventory. There are many types of potions. There are poisons. There are fortify health, magicka and stamina. There are cure disease, where you can make your enemies weak to, say, fire, and then attack them with fire to take them out easier. I'll show you using them when I show the combat later on. So here's the Arcane Enchanter. There are two types of enchantments, constant effects and weapon effects, or attack effects. So if I pick this Elven Sword and damage magicka, so that would be if I was fighting a mage, and then a Grand Soul Gem, that's the highest, you always want to pick that one, and then I craft it. So if I want to make a enchantment that fortifies, say, destruction, I then pick either armor or jewellery, use this silver ring. Destruction spells cost 8% less to cast, so I can create that. I can also rename it, but I could just create it. Easy as that. I have many items that help me in combat that I will show you. I'm going to show you guys some combat. The combat in the previous game is very different to this one. You can dual wield in this one, so I can have two swords equipped, one on the left and one on the right, like this. Or I can have two spells, or I could even have a spell in the right hand and a sword in the left hand. So I'll show you the kind of items I have. You usually use items that work to your advantage, so I use quite a few spells. So I use this one, makes my magicka regenerate 100% faster. So does this ring, so that's 300% faster. And that increases my overall magicka by 50 points. And ebony mail, it's just a really good high armor rating on that. And my favourite section is here. So I'll have my bow, and I'll use that poison I showed you earlier, weakness to fire. So the next shot will coat it with that poison and make them weaker to fire, which is useful because the Dremora Lord has fire damage when he attacks. That will make him slightly stronger and his attacks will be better. If you notice I have two there, that's because I've got a perk that allows me to have two at once. And I'll use Paralyze. And it's a good idea to use your shouts. So that's some combat for you. In conclusion, I would say Skyrim is an almost perfect game because it is so detailed and so immersive. However, the caves look too similar, not including the Dwemer ruins, as they are more varied and are very impressive. And the dragon's behaviours become too repetitive, as they all act the same. Character interaction is far improved. You can even have a companion who travels with you and can perform tasks as well as fight alongside you, which makes the experience more immersive. The puzzles make you think about it. Again, this adds to how immersive the game is. So too does the creation of items. To sum up, Skyrim the Elder Scrolls is a great game. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.